Hello everyone, the big annual library book sale that we've been going to every year for a very long time, as long as my wife and I have been together, and she's been going to it since before she even met me, is happening this weekend. I just got back from day one, and it is the best haul from this particular sale that I've had in over a decade. I mean, it is truly incredible. I haven't seen so many science fiction and fantasy books in that section in years. It's been slim pickings for a long time. Now it's awesome. It's so much, actually, it's going to be crazy, so much to get into. There's going to be multiple videos because there's just way too much stuff. In this one, we're going to be going through all of the wall of science fiction and fantasy books. So many great classics and everything we're going through. And then we'll have some more videos later on going through that. And then there's still 2 more days, so there's still be, might be more stuff to find. But let's go right into it with this first stack. These are all Edgar Rice Burroughs books. And all these are all like vintage. Majority of these are 90s and back. There's a few a little more modern, but the majority of these are 90s and back, especially a lot of 60s, 70s, and 80s into very, very early 90s, which is the period I love for science fiction and fantasy. But we have The Princess of Mars, The Warlord of Mars, The Eternal Savage, Land of Terror, The Son of Tarzan, Out of Time's Abyss, Carson of Venus, The Cave Girl, The Girl from Hollywood, The Bandits of Hell's Bend, The Lost Continent, Escape on Venus, and Pirates of Venus. So already the first one, just a big stack of Edgar Rice Burroughs, lots of great fantasy and adventure stories. Then Orson Scott Card, a whole selection from him, just everything you could possibly think of. A few that I haven't even heard of before, like a few of them, like I know the cover artist who did this. I was like, oh, I know that, but I haven't read it. Some classics that I've read, Ships of Earth, and then just there's so many Orson Scott Cards that I've never looked into, especially a lot of his fantasy books. I've read more of his sci-fi, more of the well-known ones. He's not one I've read a ton of, so let me know if there are any favorite Orson Scott Card books that I should be looking for. Children of the Mind, so a ton from him. Then Philip Joseph Farmer, The Other Logs of Phineas Frog, Image of the Beast, that one's pretty cool looking. A Feast Unknown, A Day World, The Book of Philip Joseph Farmer. I don't know what that one is. I have like 2 of those, I believe. Gates of Creation. So really just an amazing selection. And a lot of these old DAW science fiction, the kind of yellowy golden spine ones, those are really, really cool. So Barnstormer in Oz, interesting one. Then I was going through trying to grab every one of these I could find. The Spaceways series. I found a whole bunch of them, not a complete set, but a bunch, especially some in order. So we have 16, 15, 14, 13, 11, 9, 7, 6, 5, 2, and 1. So I don't think I missed any of them. I was really looking through. There were a ton of people there. I mean, when I was there an hour and a half early for the first day, so I was there at like 5:30 in the morning, and I was 30th in line. And by the time I filled in a huge bin, lots of bags, and went for a second round, tried to look through again and find everything. And by the time I got through and was on my second trip in line, I was over 100 people deep in line to check out. That's how many people were there. It would have wrapped around the whole thing. It was insane. Like, I've never seen so many people there. There's the best book selection in years and the greatest number of people in years. And some Terminator books we have from the new John Connor Chronicles, Book 1, and T2 Infiltrator. Some Independence Day books. We have Independence Day Resurgence, that's like a newer one, Independence Day Silent Zone, and Crucible. The Complete Guide to Middle-earth, from The Hobbit to Silmarillion, it's kind of a cool one. And Tolkien, A Look Behind Lord of the Rings. I actually found 2 copies of them. This one is a little more pristine, but I found this one first, just grabbed both of those. And then a little stack of Robert E. Howard. Always fun to find Some Robert E. Howard. This one's a really good one. Son of the White Wolf. Visions from Hell. Really cool. I have to look for some of these individual ones. I have all the different Robert E. Howard, like the omnibus like collections that they did a long time ago. So I always like when I find these individual ones to double check and make sure that any of those I have that are in at least one of those collections. If not, I give those a read because I really like a lot of his stuff. Dorsai, The Adventures of the Stainless Steel Rat, now complete in one dazzling volume. The Space Merchants. The exciting original story of Superman, Last Son of Krypton. Power Lines. Quester Tapes. The Stainless Steel Rat is Reborn. Eye of the World. Fantastic Voyage. Part of the Time Words series, we have the Ivanhoe Gambit. The Dolphins of Perns, a part of that Pern series, Dragons of Pern. The novelization of Starman, one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. That's a really cool one. Starfire. Explorers of Gore. Life and Energy, Isaac Asimov. Return from Witch Mountain, novelization of the Disney movie. Just a couple of Star Wars. We have the Star Wars trilogy. Jedi. And Shadows of the Empire. Fantastic Voyage. Psychodrome 2, the Shape Changer Scenario. That was kind of trippy. The Star Kings. The City of Gold and Lead. The Dragon and George. Swords of the Horse Clans. Some more Dragonlance with Tales of Uncle Trapspringer. I remember reading that one. Classic, The Time Machine. Some Michael Moorcock, The Time Dweller. Always a good day when you find some Moorcock. Fred Saberhagen's Berserker's Planet. The Demon in the Mirror. Dragons of Summer Flames, more Dragonlance. The novelization of Outland. This is a good 80s Sean Connery sci-fi flick. We have Legacy of Steel, Dragonlance. Doc Savage. Slain the Exile. The Wizard of 4th Street. No Nights Without Stars. The Lone Drow. Are the Thieves World series, Shadows of Sanctuary. Some Christopher Pike, The Starlight Crystal. The first paperback edition of Maharis Pelucider. Never heard of that one before. Another one of these time escape books. These are always really cool, light on the sound. Found some Arthur C. Clarke with The Songs of Distant Earth. Against the Fall of Night. The City and the Stars. The Stainless Steel Rat for President. Many Waters, and this one here we have the Man with 1,000 Names. Savages of Gore. Rogue of Gore. And Under Heaven's Bridge. And the last of the paperbacks before we get into, we have multiple stacks of hardcovers. We have, this is really cool, the complete Kryn source book, some old Dragonlance. We have Leaves from the Inn of the Last Home. This was a really great find for like 50 cents. I mean, awesome. It was a great book sale. Just one kid's book is one thing I want to really look through tomorrow. We have one just Goosebumps, kind of a reprint though of The Haunted School. That was about it. Didn't seem like there was a ton, but that was the section I had a hard time getting to. When I first went in, I just went straight to the science fiction and like fantasy section because, as I said, in years past there hasn't been a lot there, like sometimes half a table. So if you don't go there first, you're just not going to get anything. And then when I saw how overwhelmingly stuffed that whole section was, it just blew my mind, and I was there forever digging through. Went to the media section, which will be another video. I found a ton of great DVD finds and everything. And then by the time I got to the kids' books, that's when there were hundreds of people there, and it was like multiple people deep just trying to get to them. So that's what tomorrow I want to kind of see if I can go into that section and look and see what's there. So that's just it for the paperback books. Now getting into all the hardcovers, we have Starburst, Friedrich Pohl, The Mining Ort, The Wings of Pegasus, Beasts, John Crowley, it's a really cool one, Liege Killer, The Big Time, The Infinite Arena, The Day the Sun Stood Still, Star Mother, In Gathering, the complete people stories. A little more modern one. We have The Incredible Hulk. What Savage Beast? Some Poul Anderson with Fire Time and The Day of Their Return, as well as There Will Be Time. Frank Herbert, I. Hold up another stack here. Frost World and Dreamfire. The Persistence of Vision. Star Rigger's Way. Voyage of the Star Wolf. Assemblers of Infinity. Coils. Stalking the Nightmare. That's cool. I've seen this one before, Demon, which is really weird with this like unauthorized use of Marilyn Monroe very clearly as the woman on the cover. But it's been years since I've seen this particular book, but yeah, it's an interesting one. To the Stars, Fireship, This Immortal, Serpent's Reach, Kinsman, The Fall of Colossus. I mean, this is the kind of haul of the science fiction and fantasy that it makes me wish I had infinite time. I wish I could live to 400 years and didn't have to work, because I'd love to just read through all of these. It's hard to like go through, where my wife and I are going to go through and see what ones we want to read. Most of it's going to go up in the store, but just crazy, and there's just so many options. It's almost like paralyzing. Be like, oh, what? I only have so much time to read books. Like, what do I want to touch here? Because there's so much great stuff and the kind of stuff that I love. And so that, I kind of lied a little. This isn't actually the end of the paperback books, because there's so many that there's a whole section going to be devoted to the Star Trek books I found this morning, because I found a whole bunch of those as well. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, so thank you for joining me for this first section of the first day. All these crazy science fiction and fantasy, just so many great vintage books. Then we're going to get into the Star Trek and then all the DVD finds as well.